Hey guys, Kevin Muldoon here. Normally the audio is better than this, but at the moment I'm recording the audio directly through my camera. Normally what I have is my Zoom H6 here recording audio separately, but the SD card tray inside the Zoom H6 broke. I sent it back to Amazon, and instead of buying a replacement I decided to buy something else, and this is that something else. This is the Sony ICD-SX2000. It's a bit of a mouthful, but it does look like a fantastic device. Now this isn't a cheap solution. This is only about £15 cheaper than the Zoom H5, and it retails at probably about £20 more expensive than the H4n Pro, also from Zoom. You know, at £200 this isn't a cheap solution. It's the most expensive dictation machine from Sony. So, you know, I'm going a little bit left field here and trying something different. But I'm quite confident this will be quite good, and I think it's going to be useful in many different situations. It's got a lot of great features up its sleeve. It's got two microphones that can be placed into lots of different positions. It can be put in zoom for business and tutorials, XY for music, and then it's got wide stereo as well. It's got high resolution audio. It's got 16 gigabytes of storage built in, and it also has a micro SD slot. It's also got a USB retractable stick so that you can put it back into your computer very easily and transfer files. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot, but for something like this, it's so light, it's so portable. It's, you know, the whole thing is very, very well put together, and I think as a package, this looks like a great solution. You know, you can use an app on your phone as well as a remote control, and you can plug in lavalier mics, etc. This isn't perfect, but what I'm going to do in this video is do an unboxing, and then at the end I'm going to do some audio tests, and you can listen for yourself and see what it's like. But please do stay tuned for the full review in a few days or in a week, because, you know, I want to spend some time getting to know it and then look at the pros and the cons of using it. I want to test out in a few videos, and then I'll do a full review. I'm going to do lots of different mic comparisons, you know, this against the Audio-Technica, against the Blue Yeti, against the iMac, against my camera. Give you lots of different comparisons so that you can decide for yourself whether this is something that you're going to buy. But let's get cracking with the unboxing. So here I have the Sony ICD-SX2000, and it's quite a small little package that it comes in. Looks quite good. On the back you've got some information about recording times, etc. Depends on the format that you're recording in. But battery life for this should be good. I believe that it's up to 30 hours or so. You can see here that it can record up to 96 kilohertz, 24 bits, 16 gigabytes of storage, and it's expandable with a micro SD or with the Sony memory cards. So, let's get this open. Okay, so it's just a little bit of sellotape on the top there. See what's in here. Nothing else in the box. But you can see it's very well presented. Looks really good. And you should hopefully see that it's very, very small as well. So, we've got, looks like the manual there, which that one seems to be in Russian, at the back anyway. I can push this out hopefully now. I've got the recorder itself, and my god, this thing is so light. It's unbelievable how light this is. That's my first impression of this thing. It's so small and it's so light. It feels great, and this looks really awesome as well. So you can see there you've got the mics. You can put both of them up like that. You can go wide, or you can put them in. A lot of variations. You've got the headphone jack, lavalier mic input, micro SD input there, and you've got retractable USB. Oh baby, looks really good. I really like the look of this. So to continue the unboxing, we've got all this series of manuals. And at the bottom, looks like the secret compartment. Okay, so there's some good things here in the box. We've got a little windshield, so if you're recording outside, you can put it on. Well, this one looks really, really neat. You know, you're going to have to stretch that to get it on. It looks too small, if I'm honest. First impressions are that looks too small, but I'll check that out in a minute. You've got a little leather carrying case. That's a nice little inclusion. I mean, a lot of manufacturers, what they do is, you know, they'll charge you extra for this kind of thing. And to be honest, Sony's normally the culprit for that. They're normally quite stingy, but in this situation they have been quite good and they've included this. and elsewhere we have a little USB cable. That's all there is in the box. So on the top you've got the recorder and the manual, on the bottom you've got the windshield, the leather case, and this. And this, the idea of this is simple. You know, if you've got the back of your computer, you know, say the back of my iMac, and this is quite hard to get in, then you would use this to extend it. So they obviously recognise that that would be a problem, and they've included this cable. So that's quite good. And you can pick up these cables everywhere anyway, so should you lose it, it isn't a major issue. Now this windscreen, as I said, to kind of backtrack there, I don't know if you can see here, but the hole is quite small. I'm not sure if you just have to squeeze it in there, or I'm not sure what we're going to have to do. Oh, it does go on. It's not so bad. So I guess in one respect it is quite good that it's snug. Now I'm hoping to maybe use this in my car, and I want to do some tests to see how it sounds, you know, with and without it. But it's good that they include it. What I want to quickly do is weigh it. Okay, we'll weigh it in grams first. We have 96 grams. That is 3.4 ounces. It's super, super light. It's hard to even explain how I just said hold there because I looked at that. It's hard to explain how light this is, you know, without actually holding it yourself. The one thing I might actually get for this is try and cut a little screen protector for this. That's something I might do myself. You can see all the buttons here. You've got record, stop, play, pause, DPC, there's return AB. I'm not sure what all that means. Got a back button, a home button, they're kind of clickable. You've got a T mark, and that's good if you want to mark positions in your audio. You've got an option button. The buttons feel quite responsive. Now you've got the power and the hold button. That was the same how my Zoom worked as well. The power and the hold button in the same place. You've got an SD card position. There's no card in it. Micro SD. Lavalier-like position there. Let's just see if I can turn it on, if there's any charge. That's good because my battery pack is away from here. So there's the menu. Configure initial settings. I'm not sure you can see that. It's not going to show up, but it's too bright. You know, the screen is so bright you can't actually see that, but there's a little menu system here that lets me set the date and select everything, but I'm going to have to set up my camera differently so you can see all that. Screen looks beautiful. It looks really, really good. As far as the microphones go, they don't feel strong, if I'm honest. You know, my first impressions are that these kind of things are quite, they don't feel expensive, if I'm honest, you know what I mean? But they are protected at the top, they are protected, so fingers crossed. You know, if you dropped it, they're not going to hit, you'd maybe hit the top part there, but if you had the foam windshield on, that wouldn't matter there anyway. Now, I'm sure I can turn the screen off, and I'll show you that in the full review, but when I move it just now, the screen comes on, and then you guys can't see a thing. So I'll show you how the menu system, everything works in my full review. What I want to do just now is cut, and I'm going to play around with this for a while. I'm going to do some audio tests, and then you can be the judge of how good this is. Right guys, so I have been playing around with it now for around 25-30 minutes. I'm still in the, I think I know what I'm doing, but I'm not sure what I'm doing yet phase, if you know what I mean. You know, I've looked at the manual. It comes with this big open up manual, and there's also manuals in Russian, Italian and French. So if you're buying from the UK, that's probably the manuals you're going to get. Now, I'm not sure how this sounds, but I kind of have an idea. Let me explain. When I first turned it on, it was set to auto gain. I did a quick recording, I put it in my computer and I had a listen. I also listened through the earphones. So my first impressions are, you know, are based on the last 30 minutes. Just a reminder, this isn't a review. I'm not sure exactly what I'm doing yet, but I'm starting to get a general idea. And I will also say, you know, I think there's a high risk when you buy something new, it's small, it's shiny, and you love it, you absolutely love it. And I'm in that phase right now. I think this thing is amazing. One of the things I noticed though when I turned it on was that I turned it on and I recorded it, and then I listened to it and I was like, oh no, this thing sounds terrible. It was picking up all this background noise. You know, it was still picking me up clearly, but it kind of sounded a little bit like my Blue Yeti, where it picks up all this background noise that you don't want, well, I don't want in this situation. But it was because it was set up to auto gain, and this is where it, you know, they try and figure out what you're doing, and it tries to find the right setting. So we'll just pick this up just now. You can see here that I've got the windshield on now. Now, what I did was I went into the settings and I changed it from auto gain. You can change it from auto gain and you can manually set it. Now, mine's was just auto, but you can also set it from low, medium and high. And you can also set it between voice and music. So, there's a few things to bear in mind, and this is something that I really need to get across. How this sounds really depends on how you set it up. This seems like an extremely versatile solution that works in lots and lots of different situations. So, you know, you've got auto, it tries to figure out what you're doing, but it won't always get what you're trying to do. So for me, that's not something I don't think I will be using. They have low, medium and high. What you're listening to just now is medium, but what you're also listening just now is the microphones are set up in Zoom. So just as a reminder, if you go onto the website, I'll link to this in the video, but I've got it here somewhere. No, I don't. I've changed the page, but there's a page here and it explains how it works. But essentially, when the two microphones are going forward, sorry, I'm putting the mic away. I'm forgetting that I'm holding this. It's that small. So I'll sit you there just now. The two microphones are going forward. That's Zoom. So that's set up for tutorials and businesses. When they're drawn into each other, that's the XY position. They say that's better for music. So if you're recording a guitar, you know, a piano, that kind of thing, that would be better. You can set the microphones out, so facing outwards, and that's wide stereo. And they say that's better for outdoors and, you know, like for concerts and things like that. For me, 99% of the time, more often than not, I'm going to be kept in the Zoom position, so I'm going to be recording things with the two microphones going forward. So, just to clarify, right now I have it on the medium setting. Now, if you don't want to choose the low, medium or high, you have a few different options. You can put it on the auto, like I said, but another option is to choose a scene. You can choose all these different scenes and it comes up with different options such as a lecture or an interview or things like that, and you can choose, well, I'm doing an interview or I'm doing you're recording music, and you just select that option and it will set up everything for you. The other option is to do it manually. So when you do it manually, you can control the gain and also set all the sensitivity exactly how you want. So what you can't, I don't believe you can do it when you're recording. What you need to do is stop the recording and then you can push up and down on the little switches there, and then you can put the gain level up and down. It'll change how sensitive the microphones are. So right now, this recording that you're listening to right now is medium setting. What I'm going to do just now is change it to low. And when I change it to low, I'm going to speak a little bit closer because I think for the lower one you should be a little bit closer. But right now in medium, you can see if I talk here, it should be louder. And if I take it out here, you know, it'll be a little bit more distant. I will point out, like normally when you're, you know, editing things, you can see I've started editing the video already. And normally what you do is you try and, you know, normalise the audio. But right now I'm not changing this audio at all. I'm not going to change any part of the audio test, like in Premiere Pro, before I upload it to YouTube. But please bear in mind that YouTube, you know, when they're doing compression and they do things like that, the audio isn't, you know, as good as it should be. Right now I'm recording at 92 kilobytes per second at MP3 format, but they do have that high-res audio, and the high-res audio does look quite good. You know, if you want to record at the higher bit, you can do that. I don't think, in fact, I might be 100. I'm not even sure now, actually. I don't think I'm recording at the highest resolution. I don't believe so. Okay, so what I'm going to do is quickly change to the low setting. So I've got it to the low setting, and if I hold it back here, I'm not 100% sure. You know, I haven't did thousands of audio tests, but I suspect it's going to be a little bit too quiet. And I think this is more for dictation. You know, if you're speaking, if you're recording notes, or if you're recording a podcast, this might be the best option. Now, one thing I will say is that I have just been showing the audio for the Zoom. Now, I could show you the difference and show you what it's like in the XY position and in the concert position, you know, the wide stereo. But I don't know if I would actually get the benefit from that. One being that I do have a guitar downstairs, but I can't play. But I think I'll maybe leave that until the proper review. I'll try and do as many audio tests as possible. But if there's anything you want to know, please do leave a comment below and I'll make sure that I try and cover it in the review. I'll do my best to do that. Now, again, this is the low setting and it's set on zoom. What I want to do now is set it to high. And then after that, what I want to do is put it on auto. And it's just hopefully it will give you an idea of the different setting levels. You know, I'm holding it around the same position each time. So what I'm going to do now is switch to high. So I'm now in the high setting, and again, bear in mind I'm holding this in my hand, so if I'm moving around it might pick up a little bit of interference and things like that, and buzzing and humming that you wouldn't get in the other settings. What I will say though, I will say that I do actually really like how this is built, you know, as far as the menu system goes, as far as the structure. Like, if you go into the settings area, you can push record and it will just instantly jump to the recording. It will start recording instantly. There's no buffer. You just push record and it starts recording. There's no, you know, like 5-second waiting time. And if you push record again, it pauses it and then you can stop to end the recording. You can go jump into the settings area and then return to the recording at any time. And the whole menu structure does seem quite intuitive. So what I'd like to do now is just kind of jump to the auto mode, and I'll maybe give you an idea of what I heard when I first turned it on. So I've now got it on the auto mode, and this is how it's like out of the box. And you know how this sounds, you know, the audio that you're going to hear in these tests, it really does depend on how you set it up. And how you set it up again will depend on, you know, the position that you have. You know, I can put this on top of my camera. I could, you know, I've actually got some equipment, I'll do a video about that soon, where I'm going to put it on top of the camera that I'm recording on just now, so when I can do vlogs. You know, if I'm sitting it where the camera is just now, I might have to increase the sensitivity so that the volume is okay. It's going to take me a little bit of time to figure all this out, but the great thing about all this is that it's so versatile. This is going to work in a lot of different situations, and I was taking a bit of a risk, you know, buying this, but it does seem like this is extremely flexible and it's going to give a lot of larger, more expensive mics a run for their money. Now what I want to do just now is put in a lavalier mic, and the cool thing that I found about the lavalier mic is when I put in the lavalier mic, it instantly comes up with a settings area and it asks you, how do you want to set it up? Do you want to do a scene? Do you want to, you know, set it as low, medium or high or auto? And it seems quite good that way. It seems quite set up quite in a user-friendly way. So I'm going to stop recording and I'm going to plug in this lavalier mic. So I can move this around now because I should be recording through my lavalier mic, and I'm going to do something that's very annoying, but just to prove it, that should be very annoying when I do that, if it is recording from the lavalier mic. If it isn't, then I apologise, but it should hopefully be recording from that. And the fact that it comes up with the lavalier mic, you know, the mic in, the audio in menu when you plug it in, it does seem like the lavalier mic is recording. There's a few other things that, you know, first impressions with this, I like the position, the power and the hold. It does allow you to play back, you know, your recordings if you do want to hear them. But the volume seems really, really low, so you would ideally want to put in some earphones, and I'm not sure. I tested it, it didn't seem too high with the volume either, but I think it was because the earphones I were using wasn't that good. I like also when you plug it into your computer, I plugged it into my Mac, and not only did it instantly pop up to transfer the files, but it also started charging up the audio recorder. So I mean, I don't see me ever having to really charge this, because I'll always be transferring files, so I'll always be adding to the battery and, you know, boosting it up. And in the situation that I do need to, you know, record, then that I do need to actually improve the battery, then I'll just put in a power bank. You know, I do love the way that this is set up. What I like to quickly do is change back to medium settings, but what I want to do is take off the windscreen just to see if you guys can see any difference. The interesting thing there is when I switched to the medium settings, I actually said this will only be applicable when you're using the internal microphone. So it realised that the lavalier mic was still plugged in, and it was just warning me that this isn't adjusting the lavalier mic settings, it's adjusting the settings for the built-in microphone. So what I'm going to do now, I've got it in medium, is take that, and you can see here, just to show you what I mean by the zoom position. So that is the zoom position, and Hopefully this isn't too annoying, but what I'm going to do is change it to XY, and hopefully this isn't too loud for you guys. So I'm now in XY, and they say that this is the best one for music, but I'm not playing music, I'm not listening to music or anything like that. Just to give you a quick, comparison as to what the differences of them are. What I'll quickly do just now is change it to the wide position. So this should be a larger field, a larger range of audio that should be recorded, and I'm not sure if the audio will be as good for me. You might pick up a lot more buzzing and things like that. It is worth noting that I am in a very, very quiet environment. I'm at home, I've got pensioners for neighbours. I don't have a lot of background noise just now. I do sometimes in the summer with people out in their gardens with cars and things like that. But what I'm going to do is annoy you again and put it back to zoom. So yeah, this was just a first impressions video. It was an unboxing, but I hope I've maybe highlighted what it can do. I wouldn't take these audio tests though as gospel. I wouldn't take them. This isn't a definitive audio test, because I'm doing these audio tests just now when I've only been using this for 20-30 minutes before I started recording from the camera. So a lot of what I'm doing just now is me winging it. It's me hoping that the audio sounds good when I put it onto my computer. And some of the audio from this could be really, really bad, and I won't know until I put it in. But I wanted to do that. I think it was important for me to show you what you guys will do. When you get this microphone, when you get this audio recorder, this dictation machine, you will do the same as me. You'll go through the menu system. You'll try lots of different things. The reason I wanted to do this just now and give you guys an audio test is, honestly, there is no information about this online. I can't believe that Sony doesn't even give you an example of this working, or even a few samples. And there's no reviews. Whenever you search for it, all the reviews, all the videos on YouTube are from Japan. There was someone from Sony Russia, but they're not actually giving you a sample. So that's why I wanted to do that in this unboxing, because it was actually, to go off topic, but I was listening to, I was doing a lot of research on which recorder to buy. I was replacing the Zoom H6, and I watched lots of reviews, and it seemed to be a common theme that people were doing reviews of audio recorders and dictation machines, and they weren't actually providing any evidence of what it sounded like. And someone on YouTube actually said that, and they said something along the lines of, for effing sake, why the hell is no one uploading samples of these audio recorders? Because it was just someone talking for 30-40 minutes about the thing without actually giving you what you want to hear. So I've shown you a lot of different examples of how this works. I'm hoping that it sounds okay. You guys can be the judge on that. Again, just as a reminder, I'm not going to edit this in post. I'm not going to change the audio. I'm not sure if YouTube does in the compression. It might be a little bit different to what I get on my computer. But I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I hope you've found it useful. Just to kind of get back to what I said at the very beginning, I bought this as a replacement, maybe as a replacement for the Zoom H6. Now, I say maybe because essentially what I was doing was replacing a mid-end audio recorder, audio interface. It's very versatile, and it uses a lot of advanced features. Now, I never used those advanced features, and that's why I started to think that I might be better with something smaller and more portable, because it's going to just be more practical in all the the ways that I record. But I really was taking a leap of faith that this was going to be good. I don't know the quality of other Sony dictation machines. I don't know if this is infinitely better or if this is the norm. So I really was getting into this blind. But I hope to God that you guys have enjoyed this. I hope that you can take something from this yourself, and you guys can figure out yourself whether this is something you'd like or not. But please do, hopefully if you're looking at this, you've enjoyed the audio test, but please do wait a couple of days or a week. I'm going to spend a lot of time playing around with this. I'm going to be recording a couple of videos with this as well, because I think that as good as it is me sitting and playing around with this audio recorder, it's not until I actually put it in to actually recording a video that I'll start to realise, right, that's sounding good or that didn't sound good. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this first look and unboxing and audio test of the Sony ICD-SX2000, and As a reminder, the first audio that you heard in this video was from my Sony RX100 Mark III, and then I jumped to my Samsung Q2U, otherwise known as the Audio-Technica ATR2100 USB. That's on my phone itself. But finally, all the audio you've heard after the unboxing is of this Sony ICD-SX2000. It's an expensive audio recorder for this type of device, you know, because these things start at around £30, $30, that kind of thing. And I've paid £200 for this, or a little bit less from Amazon. Thanks for watching. If you've got any questions, leave them below. If there's anything you're unsure of, I'll make a point of trying to cover it in the full review next week. So, till next time guys, take care.